Presentation by Sneh Kesari. So, Sneh, would you like to put your camera on? So my interaction with Sneh is something different. So we have been chatting since a while, and we have been sharing ideas together. On solar eclipse or maybe hands-on outreach programs or different things. So Sneh, welcome to this talk. So Sneh is going to present in front of us his journey about robotic telescopes and hands-on research in classroom. And he's going to share about how robotic telescopes can change the world of research in astronomy. So when I started talking to Sneh, it was mainly, he shared to me that, Kathan, I don't want to only do outreach, but I want to promote the idea of research in the classrooms. So I hope to see a lot from you, Sneh. Looking forward for it. Over to you, your presentation and your floor.
Thank you, Kathan, for the lovely introduction. Yes, I believe in the idea of research in the classroom because after the outreach, what happens is that the students learn, but they don't have a place to go afterwards, and nobody is well aware of the the long journey for a researcher to go through undergrad, postgrad, and then finally to doctoral. So, how the students can be brought in. So, this is what I'm going to talk about. Hello and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to everyone wherever you are located. Thank you very much for being here. As mentioned, my name is Sneh Kesari. I'm from Astrophile Education Services. We are located in New Delhi, capital city of India. And I promote an organization which is hardly 3 years old called Astrophile Education, and I'm the director or lead instructor. I would also like to thank Gustavo, Rosa, and the entire team of Global Hands-on Universe. Wherever you are located, you guys have done a phenomenal job, working tirelessly for the last few months, trying to bring this together. And it has given many of us an opportunity to, present our work and share ideas among everyone. I'm going to speak about the project of robotic telescopes that is very close to my heart. I personally believe in this project. And I'm just going to share what exactly things have been like here. I'm glad to meet many, others on the journey so far in last 2.5, 3 years. And we believe in a philosophy that if the education is, unaffordable, then it's not education, it is business. So I'm going to share my screen. Kindly let me know if you have difficulty seeing it. Can you guys see the screen?
Yes, Sneh.
Great. So, so today I'm going to talk about the robotic telescopes and its hands-on research and classroom. In India, astronomy has certain challenges as observed in the last decade. So one of the major challenges is that the cities are growing at a very high speed, very rapid rate. It brings overpopulation, which demands high-rise buildings, and to ensure safety, we have planted streetlights. Now, the development has taken place at a much faster rate, which has eliminated any possibility of better studies to counter the harmful effects to our nature. This has taken away the night sky from us. Today, the light pollution is a major challenge in big cities, which limit our seeing only to solar system bodies and a handful of bright stars. Light pollution is also affecting the neighboring areas in the city, as you can see the map of the light pollution for India. About a decade ago, good skies were barely a stone throw distance away from big cities. Like you travel 35 miles or 55 kilometers outside of the city and you get to bottle 3, bottle 4 skies. Now the distances have increased to almost 200 miles or up to 350 kilometers. The light pollution map will show you how poorly we are affected from this problem. This red mark here, New Delhi, is where I live. And you can see pretty much entire North India is kind of consumed with the problem of light pollution. Another problem that we face in India is that the astronomical equipments are very, very expensive. So that makes it very difficult to, procure. most of the equipment is manufactured and shipped from the West, that is the US or the Europe. As a result, we have to pay heavy shipment, transportation, and import duties, which has really brought, which has really kept these equipments out of the reach from a common man, especially the lower middle class or the working group. And another thing is that with poor skies around and lack of good equipment available, we have always experienced the lack of training facilities or learning opportunities, because traveling or expensive equipment really cut down on people's interest in the field. And I strongly believe that the robotic telescopes are going to be a solution, and it will prove to be a great asset for astronomers, amateurs, and enthusiasts. Now, robotic telescopes offer you work from any location. So I think that is something very interesting. You can work from the comfort of your workplace, your home, your your living room, or anywhere around the world. It also enables you to collect more data, because the telescopes are working round the year, and they are shut down only due to bad weather or timely maintenance. So when it's working for a longer duration, the data collection is greater, and the repository is increased. That is, the amount of data collected with these robotic telescopes is humongous. Because you're not moving around the telescope too much, and the telescopes are set up once and they can work for longer, you can you can impart better system, so the data collection is precise, with more accurate metadata, plate solving techniques. So there are negligible errors when you are locating the objects in the sky, and so on. Plus, remote location gives you better sky opportunities as well. A lot of big telescopes like the ones in Hawaii or in Atacama, or even in India in Ladakh. So these locations offer better sky conditions and longer duration for telescopes to operate. You just have to set it up once and use as much as you like. Of course, there are periodic maintenances, but they can be reduced as compared to people traveling very frequently to these dark locations every now and then. And it also makes life easier for astronomers, because they can cut down on their travel time, they can focus more on the research work, and so on and so forth. Uh, who owns these robotic telescopes? So primarily government institutions, universities, research institutes, space research organizations, or private organizations. So these are the primary group of people or the organizations who own the robotic telescopes currently. There are hardly any private observatory who gives you any opportunity to use the telescope time. Uh, in India, we have partnered with SLU very recently, just before the pandemic hit us. And we are still working towards the details of how it can be implemented in schools as an opportunity for students to learn about sky and do qualitative research work here. Uh, why robotic telescopes, I feel, are very important, because we have seen that the students are generally occupied throughout the year with their school education, the never-ending curriculum, their tuitions, extracurriculars, and of course the exams. As a result, they do not get much time to travel to dark locations. Now, in recent years, we have seen a trend that certain schools, of course, premium schools in India, have incorporated annual travel programs to give students with better exposure. But then once in a year, if you're traveling, we don't feel that's enough for the students to learn about the sky or to understand how interesting or how important the sky is for us. So they just get introduced with the concept of astronomy and stargazing. They see the telescope, or they see through the telescope for the very first time. But after that, they are back to their routine for the next 1 year. So it becomes very difficult for them to be motivated to, pursue astronomy as a career. We believe the robotic telescopes will enable them to learn and explore the cosmos better, anytime, anywhere. Robotic telescopes are also economical for students. Rather than paying hundreds of dollars in buying equipment, shipment, and customs, they can simply subscribe to these telescopic opportunities for as cheap as $50 a year. That translates to less than 4,000 rupees a year in Indian currency. This also gives opportunity for institutions like schools to enroll for such programs and open a vast opportunity for the students studying in the school to participate. That enables them for about roughly 1,000 rupees a year, and more and more students can enroll and participate. Of course, these telescopes, because they are working around the year, there are more research opportunities for students, starting with very basic projects like timing the occultation, or just scanning the sky for minor bodies, to more complex situation where they can study the variable stars, or they can study exoplanets as well. So these are some of the research opportunities which I believe these robotic telescopes will open up for the students. Then where we stand, organizations like us would be of any help, or will work for the betterment. The most important thing is that we can bridge the gap between the institutions who are offering robotic telescopic opportunities and the institutions who are willing to take up the challenge of pursuing the research work for the students. So we can act as one point of contact for the universities or the research organizations who have robotic telescopes already available with them. We can offer the training facilities in our country or in our state. We can train the students for research opportunities and experiences, and this give them less of trouble to interact with each and every one individually. And the students will also have an easier way to communicate, because we are interacting with the students on a regular basis. We have a much larger base, and we can take care of half the things for these institutions. The opportunities will primarily benefit the students in a great way. Remote access to dark skies makes the learning of the sky and cosmos better, because they can access it anytime, anywhere. They can use the telescope based on their own preference and interest level. So students can be assigned projects, and over a year they can work on different projects. For example, in the first half of the year, they can study about the solar system bodies, for example, detecting solar system bodies like asteroids and comets. In the second half of the year, they can study about variable stars, and we can cover a much larger ground, giving them better exposure. The students get to know about the research methodologies. So this is where everything becomes very critical. What exactly is research? So I had a chance to speak to a lot of students, and they were excited about doing research because they thought they can use the giant telescopes already located in different observatories, and they can look at the sky through that. So they don't know how the data collection is done, how the data is stored, and how the data analysis is carried out. So it will give them a better understanding about the research methodologies. It will give them an opportunity to interact with astronomers and researchers from around the world, research associates, etc., at a very early age, helping them choose the career path they may like to join. They already have made a head start when they participate in this project and these kind of activities, and they grab research opportunities based on the outcome of their previous collaborations or attempts. For example, some student is doing a phenomenal job in data analysis, working with some astronomer. So this interaction can enable the student to be picked up as a PhD candidate, because here uh, the student is not identified by some of the research work he has done in the past, or based on his SOP, but here the advisor has seen how committed he is towards the work, and how what he can do with the research opportunities. As a result, it will be easier for both of them to choose each other. The current paradigm in India, or the current situation in India, if I talk about, Currently the robotic telescopes are beyond the reach of the school students. Only students at the postgraduate level or at the research level are allowed to get access or given the opportunity to get access to the data. There are no programs currently, at least which I am aware of, that offers data research and data mining for the Indian students. And this is, I'm talking about the institutions which are in India. We need better outreach programs. We need programs where the students are reached out and given a chance to work on the data for the research observatories. There are a wide variety of programs offered in India, especially in the field of science, but they are mostly at the university level. If I talk about, there are around 1,000 universities, 40,000 colleges, and nearly about 10,750 standalone institutions that are offering science program at some level. A total of 38 million students enrolled for these programs, and 16.5% of the enrollment came in the pure sciences section. Out of this, 44,702 students only enrolled for the PhD programs, and only about just a little less than 6,000 students enrolled for the concepts in physics. It will be interesting to note that we grew by 14.1 million in terms of increase in population during that year. So the data, I'm quoting it from a research conducted towards the end of 2018-19 by an independent agency. And over 20,000 students since this year, since 2018, we have introduced into science and astronomy at different levels and different programs. We we do not have a data set to support this, but based on our observation in during our repetitive interaction with the students, we realize that the students have shown better understanding of the concepts in science when they have interacted under these kind of programs as compared to those who decided to opt out and just study science in their regular classrooms. So the inquisitiveness or the critical thinking has increased. Their capability of analyzing, data or handling of technology and troubleshooting has enhanced. They have got better grades in internal assessment based on their performances, because participation in these programs for some schools have also taken up in the internal assessments. Program experiences have helped them secure better college and university admissions, especially for grade 11 and 12 students in past couple of years. The programs that we are doing, which are based on the robotic systems, not just limited to telescopes, but entire robotic system, is IASC and ISS EarthCam. As mentioned earlier, we have recently collaborated with SLU telescopes and robotic observatories, Zoo Universe, and a few more. And of course, we are looking for more collaborations and opportunities to extend it to our students. I believe the future of robotic telescopes in classrooms is quite high. It gives the students the direct opportunity to access data. There's more research opportunities for students. There's a wide variety of projects that the students can participate in. I believe the assistant astronomers are in the making if they are nurtured well and if they are given the right, upbringing, and they are one of the best resources that we can use to secure our better future. Robotic telescope and
I hope you are
sorry.
I hope you are at your conclusion. We are a minute away from your completion.
Yeah, I'm just about to conclude. So, as I mentioned in the beginning, this project or this topic is very close to my heart. Robotic Telescope and Astrophile Education has been collaborating with more institutes for data mining and data analyzing. We are trying to offer better training facilities for students who are from the affluent school families and also who are from the underprivileged group. We are also aiming to work with state governments. The talks were going on for last few months, but due to the pandemic, we have to put these things on hold. And we are also committed to set up a network of robotic telescope observatories in India by 2030, the beginning of which should have happened by the end of next year, but I think the project will be deferred. And we are aiming to set up our first full-fledged robotic observatory in Ladakh by 2025. And in the end, I would like to conclude uh, by thanking everybody, Global Hands-On Universe 2020 team, Gustavo, Rosa, speakers, all the presenters. Thank you very much for enlightening us about all the important things you are doing in your countries as well as globally. And a special thanks to Kathan for introducing me to this and helping with the process. Without you, Kathan, I think I would not have been here. So thank you very much.
Kavan,
Do I have a couple of more minutes to just showcase a small video? If not, then it's
uh,
okay.
I would suggest that you share the video on the link if possible. There's
Right,
a
I will do that.
question you might want to ask answer Vaibhav in a personal chat because we are already spilled over the time. So
Okay,
what facilities, equipments do you have for training and students? You might want to answer him in the chat. It would be useful because I
okay,
think
I'll do that.
he's waiting with us to chair the next set of talks.